Brenda, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 10230, State of Texas versus R.C. Curtis. Can I have the parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Darrell Harris from the State Yard.
for the defense?
Richard Langor and Charles Funk, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Curtis is on the screen. He is at the Bexar County Jail. The court last night received a message and a text message, and included in the text message were both attorneys for the state, the court coordinator, and both attorneys from the defense. And the text message was from the defense, and it states, and it's from Charles Funk. It states, everyone involved in this case are included in this text. Judge Boyd, after we adjourned Friday, later in the afternoon, we were made aware of additional evidence in the possession of the state that had not been disclosed to defense. Due to the nature of this evidence and its content, the defense is requesting the opportunity to meet with all parties tomorrow to discuss next steps. My response, and that message was received by the court at 6:15 p.m. And my court coordinator made me aware of the message because I had my cell phone on off. My response to all parties was, hello, your client will be by Zoom. State and defense are to appear in person tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. The response from Charles Bunks was, okay, thank you. The response from Richard Langlois was, got it. Stephen Spear was his response was, I'll be there. And Mr. Harris's response was, he'll be there as well. The court did its best to have Mr. Curtis in person in the courtroom. However, because it was on a Sunday, it wasn't possible for us to get him here in person because that takes a lot of coordination. Defense, do you have any objection to your client being on Zoom as opposed to being in person for this hearing?
No, Judge.
All right. And is there any objection to us appearing by Zoom from the state? Any objections to Mr. Curtis appearing on Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Curtis, are you able to unmute yourself? If you look at it, Mr. Curtis, if you'll just hold down the longest key on the keyboard, do you have a keyboard before you? If you hold that key down, it will, yes, just hold it down. All right, Mr. Curtis.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any objections to appearing on Zoom instead of in person?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis, we'll mute you now, but I'll keep my eyes focused on you. So if you have a question or anything, you can raise your hand. All right, defense, you said that you are in receipt of some information.
After 6 years, yes, Judge.
Okay.
I know Charles and I spent a good portion of the weekend reviewing 15 gigabytes of information that was provided to us Friday and contained some interesting facts that were unknown to us at the time, and development of some perhaps new perhaps witnesses. And
All right, you say interesting facts. What interesting facts do you speak of?
well, there's a video of Anthony Jones. It's difficult to hear the video because it's speech pattern. It's very difficult to understand. He's speaking very low with you talk about that.
Judge, if I may real quick,
Yes,
just to clarify, we were here Friday regarding phone records.
yes,
You reset us until tomorrow, Tuesday, to review these phone records. That was in the morning.
yes.
Sometime around 1 p.m.-ish, maybe 12:30-ish, the defense received notice from the state that in addition to the phone records, there's 2 video statements that had not been provided to the defense. Not only the videos had not been provided, there's no mention of these videos even being in existence in any of the reports we have. So I just wanted to point that those are the videos Mr. Lingwell is referring to. They're in addition to the phone records. They're not included in the phone records.
All right, so here's my question, so the record can be clear. So the interesting facts that Mr. Langlois is saying that he discovered based upon from the phone dump are not what we're here for, is not a part of this new discovery, is that correct?
The phone dump and the new discovery are two separate things. I believe the interesting facts he's going to discuss came from these videos that we received even after the phone dump was disclosed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up to make
Yes.
sure we were clear. Okay.
All right. Yes, Mr. Langlois.
Basically what we have is that is Dr. Hines, Detective Hines was given kind of a notification that there was supposed to be a video that was taken of an older woman being beaten to death. And it appears that there were several characters that may have been involved.
Just one moment, Mr. Langlois. All right, so continue, Mr. Langlois.
Yeah, I'll give you my version. Mr. Bunk will perhaps clarify other things on this, but basically what it gets down to is this. Detective Hines talked to Anthony Jones. Jones kind of led him on to the fact that there may have been a video out there. There are a couple names of Scott Perez, and I guess Scott Perez was interviewed by Detective Hines. He indicated another Scott somewhere, whoever he is, too, that there's certain factors in there that Detective Hines, I think, went out to a house to speak to Antonio Jones's mother, Charlotte, I think. And she had a boyfriend there or something, Robert. They were kind of told the detective to get the hell out of their property. But in the process, there was a comment by Charlotte, I believe, that said to Robert, "What do you mean you saw the video?" or something like that. You keep your mouth shut. She started, beating on him, something like that. So basically, this whole thing has developed is that some other people, probably the person that could have killed Paula Boyd. No one's mentioned that name. But there's a cell phone out there. Detective Hines got a little bit of information, but he kind of stopped investigating.
Well, so here's the court's question. The two videos that you're saying that the state just turned over, who brought this to the state's attention that there are two other videos?
I don't know. I was told that the state has had them the entire time. They just were not downloaded to verify.
Okay, so what are the two videos?
Antonio Jones and Antonio Pena. You may recall that Jones owns the two cell phones that we were here for on Friday that were not the cell phone dumps that we got on Friday. So he's interviewed in one of the videos. I think you'll recall that Detective Hines said he didn't ever talk to Antonio Jones about this case, other than taking the phones, which now we know he did.
So on Antonio Pena, how long is that video?
Roughly, it's an hour and 8 minutes, but I think the first 20 minutes, they just ice him and he sits there. So it's about 40 minutes, more or less, if I believe.
All right, everyone, just one moment. Because I have a visiting judge, there are people who are coming into the main room, and let me make sure I get them to where they need to be. Jonathan Pettis, you need to go to breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Sorry for that. We're going to have little breaks because a visiting judge is in a breakout room handling today's docket. So Antonio Pena, that's an hour and 8 minutes. And who do we assume did the video?
I know Detective Hines did the video.
Okay, Hines. So the next person you say is Antonio Jones.
Correct.
And how long is that video?
That's probably only 30 minutes, and he's so high you can't understand anything he says.
All right, and who is the person who did that video?
Detective Hines.
All right, so my next question then is for the state. Are you the person who called the defense and said, we have these two videos?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state, when did you discover that these two videos are in existence?
Your Honor, after our trial work on Thursday night and then Friday morning, we went in search of the phone records, the phone dump of an Antonio Jones. Out of an abundance of caution, I also went through and checked everything else because Antonio Jones's name did come up while Detective Hines was on the stand on Thursday. And that's when I learned the existence of the video statements of Jones and Pena. Records indicate they had been received and accepted in a portion of my office by one of my predecessors in August of 2016. Both of those videos I personally carried to both Mr. Bunk and Langlois Friday afternoon, along with, and some court may be aware, we transferred the phone dump in court Friday morning. So they both had them Friday afternoon between 12:30 to Mr. Bunk and 3:30 in the afternoon to Mr. Langlois. I personally delivered those.
So what form were these videos in with the state?
They were DVDs, discs, like always. The only thing that happened, they got received in the office and it appeared just on a mission. They did not get uploaded to the typical discovery means when they came in 2006.
But I mean, what box, I'm trying to figure out what box they were in, because, and so the dates can be clear. You informed the defense on November 5th, 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
You're telling me that the DVDs in DVD form was received by the state in 2016.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a month and date for that, or we just know it's 2016?
I want to say on or about August 11th from the stamp of the disc, the stamp of the envelope containing the disc.
So where was that disc?
They were in the boxes of the case file that I received from predecessors.
And who are these predecessors?
Two parties are no longer in the office, then an ADA Morales Jansen, ADA Scott Simpson. There was another colleague that the disc had been still here, ADA Leon Altus is who they were addressed to. And I have no knowledge that she knew or ever received it. It was just in the box. I got it all from Simpson.
All right, defense.
Well, Judge, it's our position that the videos, they discuss, for example, Mr. Pena specifically says he has been told who killed the woman. And the interview starts with, hey, I'm here to talk to you about the death of Paula Boyd. She was an old lady killed on I-10. And the conversation goes under that description. He says, yeah. David, Frank, and Antonio were there when the killing happened. They beat the old woman to death.
And this is in Pena's?
It's in Pena's statement. It also says that David Rocha came. He tells how David Rocha came and threatened Antonio Pena's wife because she was looking at the Crime Stopper pictures, trying to get some money to give leads, and David Rocha threatened her about that. It also says that Antonio Jones's mother, whose name is Christina, who lived with Antonio Pena, when she heard about it, she yelled at her common law husband, or her boyfriend, if you will. His name is Roberto. You all recorded that? And then she started beating him up because she found out there was a recording of this murder.
All right, so let me stop you right there for a moment. So state, is that the rendition or proper recitation of what's on that DVD?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then this is what does anyone want to offer that DVD for purposes of this hearing? Or is there going to be objection as far as foundation?
No, for the purposes of this hearing, I think the court needs to watch it.
All right, just one moment, please. Ms. Hayden, I've made you co-host, so you can go back to the room.
Thank you. Sorry, I keep crashing.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much. I know it's a little confusing. And Mr. Nesbitt, you are co-host. So we're back on the record in this case. Where's the DVD?
I didn't bring this, Your Honor. I can get it with a 5-minute recess, go to my office.
Oh, no problem. And everyone, please take your time. There's no rush. I'm here all day.
And Your Honor, if I could, to properly understand the Pena interview, you have to look at the Scott Perez interview, which the defense has.
I respectfully disagree completely. We're talking about a video that they sat on for 6 years.
All right, everyone. Here's it. We're going to go off the record for a moment. If you could beat us, please. I'm not going to take it as a sign of disrespect for people to remain seated because we have all the microphones. It's actually easier for everything to pick up if everyone remains seated. So it's okay for everybody to remain seated. And we're going to take a 5-minute recess so we can get the DVDs from upstairs.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yeah, we can move. to go to breakout room number 1, Mr. Hicks.
I believe so.
Mr. Lopez, you need to go back to breakout room number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I don't have the option for breakout room 1, ma'am.
Do you see at the bottom of your screen where it says participants, chat, record? There should be 4 little boxes. Do you see those?
Yes, ma'am. It just tells me breakout room 3.
All right, so then go to that room wherever it's sending you to, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
So, we don't have discovery. We should have all the pictures. There's no 10 pictures. This is how it shows all those people.
Detective Angel is currently, he's retired now. I think he thinks-
Mr. Reitmeyer?
Yes, ma'am. Can I be put back in that other room, the main room, not the breakout?
Okay, let me find you. You're in number 3, correct?
I was in 3, yes, ma'am.
And do you want your client back in that room as well?
He can stay there. I just need to confer with the state.
Of course.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
You send her out, Judge.
All right, thank you. You want to see about setting that up on the, make sure it happened, that it's able to play. And then also we'll need to label it for purposes of this hearing.
Of course.
Hey, Judge, if you could email me the Zoom link
Oh,
for the hearing, I don't believe I have it.
sure, let me do that now. Okay, I can give you the number. That may be easy because this is moving slow.
Oh, okay.
It's 997.
I'm sorry, just let me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It logged me.
Oh, we do.
You already made.
That's what was taking us the extra time. We wanted to make copies.
So
Oh, I've got. Or like something separate.
okay. I'm bringing it down. Ah, cool. Stupid question.
It is the court's understanding, based upon defense's recitation, that there is something on Pena DVD that was given to, or the defense was made aware of on Friday, November 5th,
Yes, ma'am.
that there's something on that DVD.
Yes, ma'am.
So the court does not see where it should be concerning as far as whether or not the state thinks that this would be something that's admissible at trial. I'm just looking for
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is on the DVD
Yes, ma'am.
and what information is on that DVD and what potentially that could mean.
Yes, ma'am.
So Pena, are you marking as 176?
Pena is actually 177 and Jones is 176.
All right. So from either party, is there any objections to the DVD number marked as States Exhibit 176 for purposes of this hearing only? Any objections from the defense?
No, Judge.
All right. And any objections to States 177, which is the Pena DVD, being offered and entered for purposes of this hearing from the defense?
No, Judge.
Then,
That is
yes.
the statement.
All right, thank you. Then States Exhibit number 176 and 177 will be admitted for purposes of this hearing only. And if we could start with Pena, please, and that is States Exhibits number 177. And of course, the court does not need to see, unless people want me to see it, where he's sitting there and not speaking to anyone.
No. We don't want you to. There's no need to see that. We agree.
All right, again, young man, I'm Detective Hines. I'm with the San Antonio Police Homicide Unit. This officer has you under arrest for some traffic tickets. I'm a homicide investigator, so obviously I don't want to talk to you about traffic tickets. I want to talk to you about a completely different issue. But since I do everything by the book, I'm going to read you your rights because you're not free to leave right now. Before you ask any questions, it's my duty as a police officer to advise you of your rights and to warn you of the consequences of waiving these rights.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to make any statement, oral or written, to anyone. Any statement that you make will be used in evidence against you in a court of law or at your trial. You have a right to have a lawyer present to advise you before and during any questioning by police officers or attorneys representing the state. You may have your own lawyer present, or if you're unable to employ a lawyer, the court will appoint a lawyer for you free of charge now or at any other time.
Okay.
If you decide to talk with anyone, you can stop talking to them anytime you want.
But am I under arrest for something?
For warrants, yes.
Oh,
traffic
that's for
tickets.
my tickets. Oh, I was
Yes.
gonna say.
Okay, the above rights are continuing rights which can vary by you at any stage of the proceedings. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are under arrest. I'm reading you this card because you're not free to leave. So I have to read you that before I talk to you about the issue I need to talk to you
Oh,
about.
okay, okay.
Okay, so do you want to talk to me?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna show you some pictures. I need you to verify if you know who these people are. Real simple. Do you know this person?
No,
You don't?
no, not.
Okay. Do you know this person?
Yeah.
You know him?
I don't know him, but yeah.
You know who he is? You know his name?
I don't remember his name, but I know him
You know him?
Yeah.
How do you know him?
from my cousin,
From your cousin?
David.
Okay, his name is
I
David?
think so, yeah.
Okay, all right, you're right, his name is David.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know this guy?
Yeah.
Who is he?
Antonio.
That's your, what is it, how do you say it in Spanish? Tocayo.
What does that mean?
The same name, Antonio, right? Is that how you say it? Okay. All right. So how do you know him?
I know his mother.
You know his mother?
Yeah, his mother. I let her stay with me, and that's her son.
Okay. How does his mother look?
She's Mexican.
She's Mexican? Okay, that wasn't her I just showed you?
No.
No?
Can I see it again?
Yeah. That's not her?
No.
No? Let's see, make sure I got the right person. Oh, no, sorry, that's not his mother. Disregard, showed you the wrong picture. Make mistakes sometimes. All right. Well, what's his mother's name, Antonio's mother?
Christina.
Tell me what you know about Antonio.
I don't really know much, just from hanging out with him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's homeless, and he moves from place to place, hotel to hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I know his brother.
What's his brother's name?
Good kid, Jaime.
Jaime? Okay. You know this guy? Who is that?
That's Frankie.
Frankie?
Yeah.
What's his, you know his full name?
Hernandez.
Hernandez, okay. Is he your cousin?
Well, we grew up together, so
Okay,
I don't really, I haven't talked to him in a bunch of years, and then he came back to my house. I let him stay there in my
Mhm.
house for about 2 months, and then I run him off.
okay. And do you know this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who is he?
Scott.
This is Scott. How well do you know him?
He was my neighbor at the same place we were living at,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the guy who told me what happened, something that happened.
Okay, he's the guy that told you about something that happened.
That's why I run off. They're staying at my house, some people,
Uh-huh,
but he came and told me what happened, something that happened, so
Mhm.
I went and fought with them and made them leave my house.
okay,
Yeah, Scott.
okay. And I don't need to show you a picture of yourself. Still got that tattoo on the left side of your neck?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I showed you a bunch of pictures of people, and you say you know them.
Mhm.
Tell me about what Scott, what's the deal with Scott? What did he tell you happened?
Well, look, here's the thing is I'm real paranoid, first of all.
Okay,
So,
why are you paranoid?
I don't know, it's just since I was little, I've always been that way. Everybody knows me as a real paranoid person.
Mm-hmm,
So, I put things together in my head sometimes,
mm-hmm.
but when they tell me, sometimes I always think I'm right, so I hope I'm not right about this, but,
Okay,
okay.
well, let me, and your name is Antonio
Yes, sir.
Pena, correct?
Antonio Pena, yes, sir.
Where are you living now?
I'm staying with my grandmother right now.
What's the address there?
5903 Sandwick.
Okay. Sandwich.
My wife's in the process of moving to another house. Actually, today she went to go look at it with my grandmother. So
Okay,
that's where we just moved. We just moved to right now.
okay, what is your date of birth,
It's
Antonio?
4/21/86.
Okay, so I do have the right person.
Mhm.
For some reason, when I check you in our files,
75.
it shows a different date of birth, and it shows you being a lot heavier. Did you lose a lot of weight or something?
Yes.
You did? Okay. What's your phone number, Antonio?
Oh, I don't even know my phone. I don't
Okay.
know.
Okay. So tell me what's going on. I mean, I showed you.
I'm trying to like remember because
Uh-huh.
to me, I put it as two separate things.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they're separate or not.
Okay.
I was just, listening to two things, and I don't know. I hope they're not the same thing, but I need help. Like if you ask me a question, it would help me better.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm investigating. There was a lady who was murdered in 2015.
Okay.
In October of 2015.
Okay. And the older lady.
Is an older lady,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's the case that I'm talking to you about.
Okay.
Okay, all of these people I showed you pictures of are involved somehow.
Are they?
Yes, I can't tell you how,
Okay, good. Then I was right.
but the reason that I'm talking to you is because when I talk to them, and the reason I have.
Yes.
I understand with the open courtroom, I'm just wondering, I know you admonished jurors not to be watching, but what if we potentially have a juror on watching the YouTube stream?
Oh, they're not watching. They were instructed not to watch anything about this case.
I understand, Judge.
Yes. And as stated earlier, the reason why it's being streamed is because we still have limited capacity in our courtrooms, and the courtroom is supposed to be open to the public.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Pictures of them
Okay.
because I've already spoken with them.
Man.
They give me your name and say that you have some information that probably could be useful to me.
Why would they do that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So do you know anything? Have you heard anybody talk about this murder?
Yeah. This is what I
You know, your
heard from
cousin
somebody.
Frankie is in jail right now, and he's probably going to be charged with this murder as well.
Okay, so then. Okay.
Well, so just tell me what you know.
Well, okay, let me start.
Don't leave anything out.
Okay. Start from the beginning. just trying to remember who was with me.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly, because if I say something wrong, I don't want to get them.
No, just tell me what you think, what you know, what you heard people say.
Okay. Trying to remember how it all came up, like were we at a party or something?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you how they met first, probably. Maybe I'll go.
Okay, go from there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie was staying at my house.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing good, he asked me, can I stay the night? Can I stay there for a couple of days? I said, yeah,
Uh-huh.
with his girlfriend, Bianca.
Okay.
So they go there, and then he starts doing, in 2 days, I figure out he's doing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing ice.
Okay.
So he starts looking for it in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So I knew they had something, so I said, okay, well, I'll introduce you to this guy, I know they got it.
When you say they, who are they?
Antonio and them, they were staying down the street,
Okay.
same neighborhood.
Okay.
So, I hope, now it all makes sense how, so.
Okay.
So he goes there, they make a deal, whatever, they get their little drugs.
Mhm. Okay.
So I never knew, but then I never knew they talked
Mhm.
before, but I always had in my head that, oh, okay, they're talking,
Mhm.
I just thought he would score or whatever, so.
Okay.
How did the murder come up anyways? We're just there and
Mm-hmm.
he keeps coming with bags and bags. And
Who?
Frankie.
Uh-huh.
He's always like, he wears glasses and he looks just funny, like so suspicious. I'm like, dude, what are you doing with these bags? Where you, oh no, nothing, okay. So I'm thinking in my head he's robbing people or stealing from people.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he's real quiet, he goes straight to the room. And so that's how I started getting paranoid first. I'm like, man, he might be doing something, I
What
bet.
address was this at?
Um,
It wasn't on Sandwick, I know
No,
that.
it was 5902 Bartmer.
Okay. Okay.
So, how did I figure it out? Well, I just was being, nosy,
Mm-hmm.
being nosy, and I keep thinking he's doing something. They're robbing people.
Okay.
And then Scott came to me.
Mm-hmm.
He came by my house. He took me to go get a beer,
Mm-hmm.
and then he says, "You know about what they did, right?" I was like, "What?" He
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Yeah, it's on tape." He said, "It's on tape." I said, "What are you talking about? What's on tape?"
Mm-hmm.
Then he said that they killed a lady,
Mm-hmm.
that they had killed a lady now. And I was like, I was freaked out. So I chugged my beer and, I was looking for an excuse to get him out of there anyways. So I was pissed off and he told me, yeah, they killed a lady. They got on tape. We were at a hotel and they were showing it off, a video on a phone.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it makes sense, but I'm just
It
I'm
makes
trying to
perfect
remember. I'm
sense.
trying to remember everything that from there, and I don't want to leave things out too.
Okay.
So I run inside. I tell my wife to take my kids over there. She goes, "What's wrong with
What's
you?"
your wife's name?
It's Deidre Garcia.
Okay. Y'all have had some problems, I think. You and Dee.
Yeah, because of the people around us.
Okay.
We're used to being ourselves, and we try to help people come,
Mm-hmm.
and it brings nothing but problems and fighting, and us,
Mhm.
we're not happy around people. So
Okay.
we moved from there.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
yeah. So I ran in there and I told them, I was cussing out. I took off my shirt. I wanted to fight. I said, whatever. What y'all did. Antonio, the mom, and everybody were in there, and they did say, you recorded it to her husband or something like that. Like you recorded, she started hitting him. So I said, oh my God, in my head, I'm like, dude, I was hoping it was a bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Cause she's so smart, that lady, oh my God, she's smart.
Who, Antonio's mom?
Yeah, she
Okay.
is smart.
So she said you recorded it and she started hitting you.
She said that, she always denied it. I could always hear him whispering, so I'm putting things together. I don't want to tell him nothing.
Okay.
And then when I went in there and I told her, hey, y'all fucking killed an old lady. Y'all did this and that. I said, they're acting stupid. Like, no, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I said, this fucking dude just told me that y'all fucking robbed it, or y'all killed some lady, and y'all recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at somebody. She looked at Roberto and said, "Y'all recorded it," and she hit him. She hit him like twice.
Okay. Roberto, okay.
What am I getting, man? I don't even know why I'm getting involved in this shit.
Well, I need to, did you ever see the video?
No, I never seen the video.
Okay,
But then,
so who's the first one that told you anything about the video
Scott
existing?
told me he's seen it with his own eyes.
Scott told you that
He
he
was
saw
there
it?
at the party with him.
Okay, okay,
I don't know, something has with his cousins too. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I know
Mhm.
they're no good.
okay,
So he was scared of something about his cousin finding out because they were gonna, beat him up or something. So I don't know how his cousin and them come involved in it, but
Mhm.
I know they did because he didn't want to tell me anything about them. He didn't want to say their name.
do you know who I arrested for the murder?
For the murder?
Yeah,
You arrested somebody for the murder?
yeah, I did. Do you know who I arrested?
No.
Okay. Do you know a guy named RC, big old black guy?
No.
He looks like a football player.
No.
You don't know him? You never had him around any of these people before?
And if I was, if I could see him, I would tell you, if I did or not, but
Okay, so you didn't see the video,
I didn't see the video.
but you were told about the video.
I was told about the video.
And who
from-
told you about the
Scott.
video?
Scott
Scott
told
did.
me, so I went and run him out, and then, I know that dude David, he's no good. He
Mhm.
came to the house one time, 'cause my wife, she went in, she saw the things on the news,
Okay,
okay? So she went in and she went and told him who their names were.
okay.
And she got this paper, supposedly she's supposed to get, I told her no, she did it behind my back.
Mm-hmm,
So she got this paper saying, she was gonna get some money or whatever,
Uh-huh.
she lost it, so.
okay.
So that kinda got me involved, so now this guy's coming, David coming over, and
Mhm.
like basically saying, you need to tell her to be quiet
Mm-hmm,
or whatever, so.
okay. So David, when did David do this?
It was like right after that happened with
Okay.
the lady.
Okay.
He disappeared, I guess, I mean.
Okay, and have you seen him?
No.
When is the last time you
The
saw
last time I
David?
saw him was he went to my house, and he wasn't allowed there. He just
Mhm.
came in to the gate
Uh-huh,
and said, if you want to talk to me, I went over. He's like, what's the problem with, you got a problem with me? I said, no, you got a problem with me.
uh-huh,
He goes, if I had a problem with you, you'd know it already. I said,
Mhm.
well, I said,
Okay.
are you threatening me?
uh-huh,
Because I really wanted to kick his ass. I don't like that dude.
okay,
But he came over, but I had to respect it because I don't know who he knows or what he can do. So I kind of
mm-hmm,
played it cool. So
Okay.
he tried to just say to tell my chick to be quiet.
okay,
Okay, so
all right,
I'm just confused because there's another guy down the street that they were telling me in the neighborhood that he had killed a lady, a girl, that
okay.
he had killed somebody. So I was just paranoid, thinking all of it's together. So that's why my story's a little weird because
No,
I'm hearing from
perfect
two
sense.
different stories.
No, you're making perfect sense. The murder that I'm investigating, there's an old lady, she was killed in her apartment. And I've been told that there's a video, I haven't seen it,
Okay.
but I was told that you had the video. No?
I don't have no video. I've never even seen the video.
Okay, all right.
I've never.
So you haven't seen the video, but you've heard Scotty Perez talk about it?
Yeah, oh yeah, he said, yeah, it's just supposedly a short video.
Mm-hmm. Did he give you any details, like what kind of phone the video was on or
No,
anything
he
like
said it
that?
was recorded on the phone.
Recorded on the
And-
phone, okay.
And, wait, what did he say, Antonio? Okay, and it also brought up that Antonio was he was there.
Uh-huh,
But I don't know how it made sense because I didn't even think I didn't know they even talked to each other until
Okay.
all this
okay.
so supposedly that, he had something to do with it,
Mhm.
physically.
Antonio did. Okay. All right, I'll be right back. I need to grab a couple more pictures. You might know
If you
these
could
people
ask
by
me
face.
questions, that'd probably help me,
No, you're doing good. I'd rather you say it than I ask you the question, okay? You're giving me a lot of information, believe it or not. All right, I'll be right back. You know her, you said her name is Christina, right? This guy right here, you know. All right. Now I got this guy right here, you know him, right? Okay, and who is he?
That's Roberto.
Roberto, okay. This girl right here, know her? Don't know her? Okay. And this right here, I believe that's Antonio's mom. Okay. You know her, you said her name is Christina, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This guy, do you know him?
Don't know him.
Don't know him at all?
No.
You sure?
I never even seen him.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so about this party that they were at when you confronted them or whatever about a murder being on video, how did they react to you?
They were at a party the night before.
The night before, okay.
So he came by.
When you say
Scott,
he,
Scott came by.
Okay.
I don't know if he was being pressured by somebody or what, but he came by to like kind of scared, shaking, and told me, you know what happened, right? I was like, no.
Okay.
Everybody thought I was just going crazy because
Mhm.
I kept telling my chick, hey man, don't be, kick him out already. What are you doing? So we started arguing a lot.
Okay.
So then when he told me that, I finally blew up and said, I knew y'all had something going on. So I went up there and I started cussing him out, wanting to fight him. Come on, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
Open the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and they were like, what's wrong with you? They were trying to make it seem like I was crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you? You're losing your mind? I said, all right, motherfucker. I said,
Uh-huh.
they told me that, they just told me right now that they got it all on tape like that. But then when I seen it, her face was like, yeah, it was true. She
Mhm.
looked at her and said, you recorded it or something, or y'all recorded it? You
Now,
idiot."
who said that to who?
Christine,
Uh-huh.
I said that to Roberto.
Okay,
And
okay.
Roberto just kind of like that, and she started hitting him.
Uh-huh.
And then right there, I pushed Antonio out the door.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I got in her face, I said, get the fuck out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And so we all went to the backyard.
Now, was this at the house on Bartmer?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So then I was just trying to fight them, and they didn't want to fight. They were just like trying to talk to me like they usually do, because they're pretty smart of manipulating people and then trying to calm down the situation. And I said,
Okay.
I didn't have it. I said, no, fuck that. I knew y'all were up to something.
Mhm.
I mean, when he confirmed it, everything just went together. But I didn't know that they were, Frankie had to do with them. I thought it was all separate.
You didn't know Frankie had to do with them?
No, I didn't
Okay.
know. I didn't know nothing. And later on, they told me that my cousin was involved in it.
Mhm.
So I was like,
Well, your cousin is involved to the point where he was at least using his dead woman's credit cards.
yeah, that I know because that from the
Okay.
video. And he had, he was, he stopped by one time in between that time, like when they were looking for him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was just being, cool with me. I don't know if he was trying to look for any information, but then I told him, you can't be here, man, because, so he took off. I don't know what kind of car it was. It was a stolen car or what. But.
Okay, so you did see him while he was wanted, but,
Yeah.
while he was
And
wanted?
Yeah, and I seen on the news, that car that, it looked like that red,
The red car?
that one, yeah, they would come in it.
Okay.
They would come. to
Had
the
you
house.
ever seen him in that car before?
Frankie?
Yeah.
I never seen him drive it, but I seen him, he came out of the car before.
You've seen him? come out?
David is the driver, that's David's car.
Okay, okay.
That was David.
David Rocha.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And you haven't seen David since he came by your house and basically threatened you and told you to tell Deidre to shut her mouth?
Yeah, basically, that's what, I haven't seen him since then.
You haven't seen him since then? Is he from Mexico or is he,
Yeah.
he is?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, he's gonna be in Mexico.
Okay,
He will be there.
okay, why do you say that?
Frankie's mom,
Mm-hmm,
we grew up together, right? Me and Frankie, she sells houses and stuff. So she went and sold his house. He booked it with the money, with some money.
so what house?
They had a house, they owned a house down here.
Mm-hmm,
She helped him, sell it.
she helped who sell it?
She helped David.
Uh-huh,
That's Frankie's friend.
yeah,
She helped him sell it, so I don't know what they got, a couple grand,
Uh-huh.
30 grand or something. And she didn't know nothing about it. I went to go work for her, and I told her he was no good,
uh-huh,
and that he was involved. And she was like, "Oh, well, I helped him sell his house. I helped them sell their house, and they took off. And then I haven't seen him since. I figured that he was on the run. He sold the house, and he had money, and he left.
Did Frank say anything to you about being involved in the murder?
No,
He didn't?
no,
Did he say anything to you about stealing any property?
no, but I know that they, I know that they do that, they,
What do you mean they do that?
Antonio's, girlfriend, she does dates,
Uh-huh,
she'll steal shit,
okay.
take it back.
And you
I don't
talking
know,
about
I don't know if she
Antonio
hurts
Jones?
them, I don't know that she hurts them.
Uh-huh,
I don't think so. I think she, once she gets a chance, boom, she gets it and she takes off. But she steals a lot of shit. She's come back with,
uh-huh,
camcorders, TVs and
Mhm.
PlayStation, all that kind of crap. How is she gonna go on a date,
Mhm.
showing up with one purse
mm-hmm,
and leaving with all that shit,
yeah,
trying to sell it all, somebody's involved. So they're probably robbing the people,
mm-hmm, okay,
in between time. So, yeah, they're homeless, so they
okay,
were just using anybody they can.
all right. So, again, just so I'm clear, you have not seen the video,
No,
and who have you heard talking, and make sure I'm saying this back to you right, you heard Scott talk about the video?
Scott talked about, he said he's seen it
Scott said he's seen it,
with his own eyes.
and Christina said that she seen it?
She didn't say nothing, she acted like I was dumb, but when she said y'all recorded it, that
Okay.
gave me confirmation that
Uh-huh.
it was true.
Okay, and then she started hitting who?
Roberto.
Roberto.
Yeah.
So that gives you the impression that Roberto is involved in the murder?
I don't know, but I can't really say, I mean, yeah, of course, me and him were real cool,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't wanna put him in it, but that's what she said.
That's
She
what she
looked at
said.
him
Uh-huh,
and said, you recorded it?
uh-huh,
He says, he gave it to me like he didn't have nothing to do with it.
okay,
But she looked at him and started hitting him, but he kind of gave me a clue like it wasn't him, like it was them.
Uh-huh.
So he's leaving. He goes, I'm leaving.
okay. But you don't know that Frankie's involved in any way?
I don't know if Frank. Well, yeah,
In the murder?
In the murder, no,
Okay,
no. I never heard anything about it. They didn't say it, and not just because I defend him. I'm actually real pissed off with him right now.
Mhm.
If I see him, I mean,
what about Bianca?
Oh, she's his right hand. I mean,
I'm saying, but what is
whatever
she?
she says is key
Mhm.
because she's around it all the time.
Mm-hmm,
She is the one. If you can break her, then that's it. Because
Mhm.
she knows it all.
mm-hmm,
But she's hard to break. She's real
Mhm.
smart too.
okay,
Supposedly,
All
I
right.
don't know. But if she's involved, she knows about it.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure that if they did something, she was, there.
But, and just think real hard for me, in all the times that you've been around these people, you never seen this one guy I showed you a picture of.
Man, I never seen.
Never
that one
seen
guy.
him in
That's
the
what
car.
kind of. I
or
seen it. I
anything?
seen that on the my wife showed me
Uh-huh.
on the thing
Uh-huh,
that they arrested him for that.
uh-huh,
I never seen him.
you never seen
Never,
him? Okay,
never.
all right,
That might be a friend of Frankie's, and they tried to plot it up. I don't know. I'm a real paranoid guy, so
Mhm.
I don't put nothing past him. But I've never
Yeah.
even seen him around.
Never seen him. Okay, all right, I think that's all the questions I got for you. Are you going in on these traffic tickets?
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is with those, because I've been off patrol for about 14 years now, so I don't know if they're gonna hold you or reset your court dates or whatever they're gonna
That's
do.
fine. Is there any way I could use the restroom before I go to?
I'll check with the officer who has you,
Okay.
and, but I'm done with you, and I'm gonna let him know.
All right then.
All right, appreciate you talking to me, man.
Okay.
Thereafter, Your Honor, the patrol officer comes in, takes him out to the restroom, and it ends at 19:04:25, 9 o'clock.
All right, thank you. And then the next DVD is number 176, State's Exhibit, and that's Jones, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the court can see that, please.
Detective
thing I've been interested.
Okay. So that makes you 20. Hey, do you work?
No, I do side.
Jones?
Mm-hmm.
First name. All right. How you doing, young man? I'm Detective Randall Hines. I'm with the San Antonio Police Homicide Unit. Just need to verify who I'm talking to. Your last name is Jones?
Mm-hmm.
First name Antonio?
Yes, sir.
Where are you living now, Antonio?
Well, I was staying at Bay Entry apartment, but
What's the address?
I'm not for sure, but it's apartment B, apartment.
Okay, so you don't know where you live.
915.
Hey, do you work?
No, I do side jobs like roofing or
Okay.
like carpet and
What's your phone number?
317
Mm-hmm.
653
Mm-hmm.
7372
Okay. What's your date of birth?
52294.
So that makes you 22 years old. Are you married?
Yeah, you can say I got a fiance.
You got a fiance, so you're not married. I can't remember your mom's name. What's her name?
Christina
Hmm?
Guerrero.
Christina Guerrero? Okay. Okay. Does she still live over there on Blessing, or where does she live now?
She moved back to Indiana.
She moved back to Indiana? Okay. Why?
I don't know. Her and her boyfriend just left one day. She said she wanted to go to see my sisters. And
Okay. You remember your mom's phone number?
No,
No? What's wrong with you?
nothing.
Are you tired, or is this your normal demeanor? No?
I'm usually free. I'm not going to jail.
Huh? You're usually free.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to jail.
Well, right now you're under arrest for, these officers got you carrying some guns, and you got multiple warrants for your arrest. But that's not what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about a completely different subject. But because you are under arrest, and I got to read you your rights because you're not free to leave. Before you ask any questions, it is my duty as a police officer to advise you of your rights and to warn you of the consequences of waiving these rights. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to make any statement, oral or written, to anyone. Any statement that you make will be used in evidence against you in a court of law or at your trial. You have a right to have a lawyer present to advise you before and during any questioning by police officers or attorneys representing the state. You may have your own lawyer present, or if you're unable to employ your lawyer, the court will appoint a lawyer for you free of charge now or at any other time. If you decide to talk with anyone, you can, and you can stop talking to them anytime you want. The above rights are continuing rights, which can be urged by you at any stage of the proceedings. Do you understand your rights?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk to me?
Yeah, what you want to talk about?
I want to talk about a murder that happened last October. There was a 75-year-old woman inside her apartment. She was brutally beaten to death. She was raped. Lots of other things were done to her, and her credit cards were stolen at the time that she was killed. Her name was Paula Boyd, okay? And I'm gonna get straight to the point. After she was killed and after I arrested a bunch of people, I started hearing grumblings about her murder possibly being captured on a cell phone video, okay? Are you following me?
Yeah, some detectives came to my house.
Do you remember the detectives who came to your house? Old white detective with a bald head, he got some phones from you and downloaded them? Yeah. Well, there wasn't any murders on either of those phones because we didn't have the right phone, okay?
What you mean you had the right phone?
Say again?
And how many phones we have?
Oh, well, there's another phone again, and let
let me let you know what I have on you. I'm gonna shoot straight with you, Antonio, because I've spoken with a couple of people since we got those phones from you and returned them to you. Those people identified you not as being involved in the murder, but having a phone with a video on it. Okay? Do you have a brother? What's your brother's name?
Jamie Guerrero.
Jamie Guerrero. Is he still in San Antonio or did he go back to Indiana?
He's still down here.
He's still here? How old is he?
21.
21? Okay. All right. Stay with. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Okay, you listening to me. All right. Are you always like this, like you're doing right now? You are? You're always like that? Are you high on something?
No.
No? Okay.
On reality.
Huh?
On reality.
You're high on reality. Okay. Well, what I was saying was I've interviewed a couple of witnesses who said that you and your brother, and I don't know how they knew you were, that this guy was your brother, we're at a motel over there at the corner of Ingram Road and 410. There's a motel right behind the Shell station. And this person is telling me that you and your brother showed him a video of this murder happening, and it was on an Alcatel flip phone. So when this person told me that, I knew we didn't have the right phones when we got the phones from you. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember this incident? You don't?
I never had a flip phone.
You never had a flip phone? Have you ever stayed at that motel over there?
Yeah.
You have? Do you remember when?
Yeah.
You remember who you were staying there with?
Yeah.
Who were you staying there with?
The female I'm with right now.
Huh?
The female I'm staying with right now.
The female you're staying with right now. Okay. So you don't remember seeing a video with a murder on it?
No.
You don't remember showing it to anybody? No. Okay, so what that means for me is, since you're gonna lie about it, it means that you know more about this lady's murder than you're letting on. Because right now I'm thinking you're a witness that may be able to tie up some loose ends for me. You can easily go from a witness to a suspect, depending on what information develops. Because I know there's a lot of people involved in this case, because
Well, you should know I'm not one of them people that's involved in that case.
all I'm trying to do is verify that this video even exists. And yeah, the person that I'm talking.
That to tell the last dude, I never had no goddamn video. I don't even know the fuck who Paula Boyd is. Never knew when she got fucking murdered till y'all fucking brought it to my attention. So.
And I'm not saying you know her, but when I talk to more than one person, and more than one person says that you've had a phone with a video on it, and they said they said Antonio Jones.
I mean, am I the only Antonio Jones or what?
Yeah, you're the only Antonio Jones that looks like you look. Because we don't just say the name, we show the people a picture, and we say, is this the guy you're talking about? Now, when they say, yes, this is the guy I'm talking about, I know I got the right guy. And they say, this is the guy
who... Showing them one single picture of one person named Antonio Jones.
Yeah.
And that just so happened to be my picture. Every Antonio Jones you got that pops up in your computer, he showed you my picture.
Yeah, because I know who you are.
Yeah, how do you know who I am?
Because your name came up during the course of this investigation. That's why. That's how I know.
But you never talked to me a day in your life to today. So how you?
No, I've known who you are for several months. And I've come by your house to try to talk to you, and your mother wouldn't allow it. The first day I came by your house, I don't think you were there. It was your mother and her boyfriend or husband or whatever she calls him. So do you know a guy named Scott Perez? You don't? Okay. He knows you.
No, he don't.
Yeah, he does.
But money, he don't. But he don't.
Okay. So you're denying that this video exists. You have no involvement. You've never seen this video. And I need to explain something to you, Antonio. If you've just seen the video and you're not involved in the murder, you're not guilty of anything. What I'm trying to do is tie up a loose end okay?
I understand that.
You understand that, but when I have people telling me you've seen the video and you had the video on a phone, a flip phone, and they're very specific about the phone, I mean, I have more than one person telling me that. That's why I'm asking you. I mean, I just want you to tell me the truth.
Maybe your people got some good ass lies. Maybe they got their story straight.
Mm-hmm.
They probably done went over this 30 times before you even caught them.
Okay.
So they don't know me, I don't know them.
Okay. Let me go grab a picture and I'm gonna ask you if you know, I'm just gonna ask you if you know one person. And I wanna know what you're gonna tell me. You know my motto.
This guy right here?
Uh-huh. Okay, I'm just gonna gauge your level of honesty here. Do you know this guy right here? You don't know him?
What's his name, Chris?
Do you know him?
I think.
You think?
Yeah, but I'm not for sure, like, cause I met him, I don't know him, I know somebody that know him.
Okay. Do you know this guy?
Yeah,
Who is he?
Antonio, that's the dude I know who know him.
Okay, there you go. So guess who the people I've talked to that say they know you or they've seen you?
This guy right here?
Uh-huh. So when I tell you I'll talk to someone that knows you, I'm not lying to you. For whatever reason, you don't want to verify on the flip phone. I'm not going to waste any more of your time because you got to. All right, so I'm going to ask you one more time, and I'm not going to waste any more of your time because you got to get booked on these charges in process. You'll probably get a bond. I don't know. That's up to the judge. Have you ever shown anybody a video of anyone getting killed while holding a flip phone? No. Okay. So as this case goes forward, do you know a guy named Frank Hernandez? Frank Hernandez? No? Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, and again, I know there's a lot more people involved in this lady's murder. I don't think you're involved in the murder. For whatever reason, you don't want to verify some simple information for me. So these officers are going to...
I would tell you, but I really haven't. Like, that dude, oh man, I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
The story with that nigga.
Okay. All right. And that's fine.
But it's just that dude, he put my name in a lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
The second picture you
Mm-hmm.
showed me.
Why?
Antonio.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
He just like got so much animosity against me and shit, like so
Why?
angry all the time with me.
Why?
I don't know.
What's your relationship to him? Do y'all work together? Are y'all friends? What?
No, he smokes.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Are you his connect or what?
No, I don't sell to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's his problem. That's why he's mad.
Oh, he's mad at you because you don't sell to him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that's what I needed to talk to you about. I appreciate you talking to me. I don't know if you're fully telling me the truth or not, but that'll probably shake out a little bit later. Do you know a guy named R.C. Curtis? Big old black guy, looks like a football player. No? Okay. All right. All right, Trina.
Your Honor, that's Jones.
Okay. If you could stop your screen share.
Yes, sir.
Anything else from the defense as far as any other evidence that has been given to you since Friday?
Yes, I inquired Friday. The prosecution guide talks about an FBI civilian analyst who did some phone tracking allegedly on Frank Hernandez's phone. And I pointed out to them Friday that I realized I don't have that yet either. And I was told that there's a map or something they're going to be getting to me.
Yes. Yes, state, with regards to the FBI phone tracking.
Yes, ma'am. The council and I discussed it. There are several pieces of it. Directly to answer the question, there is a visual depiction of phone records that have been in e-discovery that list the cell towers that Frank Hernandez's phone was at during the time of the crime. That has been in discovery, but there is a reference in the prosecution guide that a mapping of that verbal data exists. Council and I discussed it, and even in that discussion, I thought it might have been contained in the data. I found out yesterday afternoon, following all of that discussion, that there is a mapping. I was able to obtain it yesterday evening at 7:30, and I have copies made that I've been prepared to turn over to defense at the conclusion of this hearing.
Okay, so with regards to the FBI tracking, that's already been uploaded to the defense. The only difference is the actual, I
Yes,
guess, the
ma'am.
physical map
Yes,
has
ma'am.
not been given to them.
Yes, ma'am. Physical depiction thereof. Yes, ma'am.
But that's what the FBI did, was prepare the map. Other than that, I just had raw data.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I just want the record to be clear.
And
All right, so next, let's start with State's Exhibit number 177 on Antonio Pena. The court has heard that.
yes, ma'am.
State, why wasn't that turned over to the defense when the state has had it in its possession since 2016? And for the record, I'm aware, because the state has previously stated that you all were not, you and Mr. Spear, and I'm so sorry, I forget your last name.
Ms. Dorn.
Yes. Neither her nor Mr. Harris were the originating prosecutors for this case. But this has been in the possession of the state since 2016. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was just given to the defense on Friday, November 5th,
Yes, ma'am.
2021.
Yes, ma'am.
So why is this the case?
The reality is, best I can determine, Your Honor, simple omission. There are protocols for evidence to come into the building. They get uploaded and scanned and then make their way to the responsible party. It appears to me that this came directly to one of my predecessors and it never went back in the chain. There is no excuse for it, but that is the best that I can determine. It wasn't uploaded in the system until I discovered it, looked for it in the property listing, found it wasn't there, and fixed it, notified defense as soon as I realized the omission.
So with regards, we're going to take these videos one by one.
Yes, ma'am.
With regards to State's Exhibit number 177, which is Antonio Pena defense, the court has heard that. What are you requesting? And Mr. Langlois,
Yes.
the microphones have a little trouble picking you up. I know I've already said this off the record, so I'm going to say it on the record. I don't take it as a sign of disrespect that you all are sitting, because it's easier for Brennan to hear and for everything to be picked up if you all are sitting, because the microphone is near you. So with regards to State's Exhibit number 177, what are you requesting?
On Antonio Jones?
No, that's Antonio
Antonio
Pena.
Pena.
Yes. Because the
I
thing
had
is,
never really heard much about him until this last Friday, to be honest with you.
okay, but here's the thing. So the state turned over evidence to you all on Friday. So I'm trying to figure out what is the defense requesting? You now have state's exhibit number 177, which is Antonio Pena. You have state's exhibit number 176, which is Antonio Jones. So what are we here for? What are you requesting?
Well, Judge, at this point, having reviewed those things, we see that there are some witnesses that we probably have to talk to. From Bianca Dunn, who's the girlfriend to Frank Hernandez, Antonio Jones's mother, and Roberto. There's several other people in there. Antonio Jones's girlfriend. They also appear to be at a party. And if the state's not going to call them, obviously we'd love to call them, because I think some of the stuff came out that Antonio Jones was the person depicted as the person who killed that lady. Now, that's Paula Jones or not, it's very, very critical to us. If it's not Paula Boyd, then, question is who was that person that was killed? Was it Paula Boyd, or was it some other individual? And we don't know that. So, here we are after 4 days of testimony. All of a sudden, we're getting stuff that just changes the whole complexity of this trial. We're locked in this trial. The main issue in this case is pretty much the DNA that matches our client, C. Curtis. Now we've got some stuff that Frank Hernandez may be involved, Antonio Jones is involved, and other people involved. And that there's a video out there. And it's pretty indicative that that video may have existed and may exist. So, it changes the whole complexity. And here we are, 6 years later, like we just have to start all over. And I think the omission of that information is extremely critical to us. And it really impaired our ability to put on a proper defense for our client until this last weekend. And, there's Brady issues in here, and I think some of those Brady issues establish materiality in this case, particularly the fact that Antonio Jones is listed as a murderer. And, under Brady, we've been denied that stuff for 6 years.
So,
in that cases, we almost have to move for a mistrial.
well, you're saying you almost have to move for mistrial. All right, just 1 second. So, state, with regards to all of these witnesses that the defense is bringing up, Bianca, Antonio's mother and girlfriend, has any of that been included anywhere in the prosecution guide?
Yes, Your Honor. Bianca Dunn, who was the then girlfriend of Frank Hernandez at the time of the crime, she was interviewed by police on or about November the 6th. Her statement has been uploaded and made available throughout. Frank Hernandez himself was arrested on or about 2015, excuse me. Frank Hernandez himself was arrested on or about November 11th, 2015, declined to give a statement. His jail calls while he's been incarcerated have been uploaded and available to defense all during the point and duration of this case.
And then let's go to Antonio's mother and girlfriend.
Antonio Jones's mother, just a minute. Apologies, guys, I lost my place.
Sure, no problem. But while you're looking, so the question for the state is there documentation in the prosecution guide on Antonio Jones's mother
Yes.
and Antonio Jones's girlfriend?
Yes, ma'am.
All
And,
right, so then the court's next question, so the record can be clear.
yes, ma'am.
I would like to,
And I can specify for completeness of the record.
yes, please do.
Christina Guerrero, name, date of birth, information that factually refused to cooperate is documented on page 29 in the prosecution guide. A Roberto Cisneros, date of birth, contact information at the time in 2015 is also documented on page 29. Further, I pointed out that background information on Cisneros from the state of Indiana had been uploaded and available in the discovery system concerning Mr. Cisneros. And that has all been available for Antonio Jones himself. Getting his phone in February of 2015. It's been listed in the prosecution guide, but what was missing was the interview that was done in July. Antonio's girlfriend is not referenced in any document, but once we discovered the video, and I believe she is the young lady in the cell phone videos that we do have that we turned over to defense. And so that was available on Friday.
Right, and the cell phone videos that you turned over to the defense, are these the cell phone videos of recent?
Yes, ma'am. They were captured in 2015 when the dump occurred, but I understand that the state is imputed knowledge what we have in our possession and what is in law enforcement. And so by that standard, it was there, but they were not in this building until we physically went and got them from
And
law
what date was
enforcement.
that?
Right.
And that was on November 5th,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
So on November 5th, we have cell phone records that the defense has not been given.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
they're giving that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then later in the day, I guess of November 5th, now we have these two videos.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense.
Judge, it's one thing to say, hey, they knew that there was a Roberto and Bob. We didn't know he was part of the murder until we got the video, which then potentially makes my client at least a party, which we didn't voir dire on because we didn't know they had information that other people were present when the murder occurred. So just saying, hey, they knew Roberto's name and address, that doesn't mean crap if they didn't tell me, hey, also our witnesses say he was there when the murder occurred. And the same thing for the mom and all that. Yeah, we had names of people, but without this video, we didn't know what they knew. They knew that the videos, allegedly showed a skinny black guy committing this murder. Antonio Jones, allegedly, but we didn't know that until we get these videos. So the fact that, and then furthermore, I don't know, and still don't have from discovery, there are 10 pictures shown to Antonio Pena. I don't know what they are. I've never seen them. I don't know who they are. There are at least two pictures shown to Antonio Jones. I don't know who they are. They're not part of it. All of that stuff we need to know. We needed to know long before today or before Friday afternoon. We voir dired on what we knew. But now they put us in a situation with stuff they knew but we didn't know. And it is not just surplusage or extra stuff. It's material Brady evidence about this murder. So at that point, we're moving for a mistrial and a dismissal with prejudice.
All right, the court will grant, well, I'm sorry, just one moment. State first, let's speak to the defense's request for a mistrial.
Your Honor, I believe that the appropriate remedy would be a continuance for the time for them to fully explore, and the state has no objection to that.
How do you address the fact that they're saying that they did not voir dire on this information?
And I understand and acknowledge that would meet then the standard for prejudice in little, the state. And I understand in terms of the claim of dismissal with prejudice.
But no, let's just stick with their request. I'm going to focus first on the mistrial, then we'll speak to any dismissal, their argument for that. So with regards to the mistrial, the defense is saying that they did not have an opportunity to voir dire as it relates to these videos, which the court understands that voir dire is all hypothetical. It's not about the specific facts of this case. But they're saying they didn't even have a chance to voir dire on those issues because they didn't have this information
Yes, ma'am.
that the state has had in its possession since 2016.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not running from it. I can only say that as counsel, then it says it does not obviate or mitigate, or it does not exculpate the defendant. And only if it would make him a party that would incriminate further people who are co-defendants. Frank Hernandez always was a co-defendant in this process. They knew minimal about Frank Hernandez. They had that at voir dire. But yes, this context does raise a question about it being explored. I acknowledge I would not play a game with the court.
So with regards to the defense's request for a mistrial, because they're saying they did not have a chance to voir dire on this evidence that they have.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the issue that I want to address.
That a mistrial, it is the, if you will, most extreme of the remedies available to it.
Because I don't see how granting them a continuance addresses their issue of voir dire, because we can't voir dire. This is what the court's going to do with that. Court is going to grant the defense's request for a mistrial. Now let's move on to the motion to dismiss with prejudice. The defense is requesting that?
Yeah, Judge.
Yes.
The prejudice factor will come out due to Brady violation. And I know that Mr. Harris has said that we knew about, Dunn and some of these other people, but all the information we had in the report through Detective Hines is that she knew that Frank was a drug dealer and things like that, that this was a drug, there was a drug dealing outside the purview of the murder. Hernandez's culpability in this case throughout this last 6 years was nothing more than credit card or debit card abuse. There was nothing about he had anything to do with the murder, was involved in the murder. Not until we got information or last Friday or got the videos, phone videos from Antonio Jones. And that just opened up a complete bag of information. And it still has to be verified as to who's who and things like that. No one has come forth with a video, so we don't know whether there's one or not. But changes the whole complexity, as Charles Monk argued. Yeah, we didn't pour an ire on that because when we came into this case with the information we had, this was a case really on how strong is the DNA evidence. And RC was seen using her credit card or debit card very close to after the murder. And so therefore we have a prejudice factor in here. The Brady requires that we have to establish for prejudice that the material is relevant and material. Certainly it's material. We determined that today, that it's extremely material. And because of that materiality to it, and due to the fact that Antonio Jones is now a figure that has been defined as being a murderer, that prejudice has been extremely difficult for us to handle. Before that, without that information, I believe there's no question there's a prejudice factor here on Brady. I think on Brady requires that this case be granted a mistrial with prejudice. And I think the Court of Criminal Appeals will probably agree with me. Even though my wife will not vote.
If I may respond.
Yes.
I will
join some of the factual statements that counsel has made. DNA evidence of the defendant, R.C. Curtis, has been found on the body of the complaining witness. He was seen using the credit cards of the complaining witness the day and at the hour that the victim's body was found. He used them first.
But here's my question.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that related to the fact that defense is saying that they want a dismissal with
Yes, ma'am.
prejudice
Yes, ma'am.
because they have not received certain evidence?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm simply articulating the counsel's argument as to the prejudice. And so the evidence in the case presented to the jury to this point is that Curtis is using them at the time the body is found. The jury has also heard other people, one of whom is Hernandez, use the credit cards after the body was found, specifically Hernandez, October the 25th. Now, there is a suggestion of a video that may or may not be of the killing, but that does not prejudice the defendant. It only would tend to incriminate or inculpate other parties, not the defendant. It does not prejudice him. Then as to the showing to get to the bad faith argument, to show bad faith, you have to show a demonstration of some sort of improper motive, animus against the defendant or desire to present. We haven't destroyed anything. As we have found it and recognized it or recognized shortcomings in the disclosure, we have made that available to the defense with it immediately as soon as we recognize it and bring to our attention. So I don't see bad faith. I understand the court has granted a mistrial, and I think that is appropriate, but I do not see any indicia of bad faith or extreme prejudice to require it be done with prejudice. There were mistakes, there were accounting errors. We are responsible for that. We acknowledge that. But we fixed them, remedied them as soon as we could. And we will continue to do that because that's what the code requires of us. So I just simply say his argument was that his client was prejudiced, and I do not believe that even this additional evidence, it doesn't prejudice them, because they haven't even started presenting their case. Any witnesses they could have questions can be recalled. They can go into it. They have the ability to work with it.
May we respond briefly?
Yes.
Another issue on the prejudice, and how the defense case has been prejudiced. This evidence was in the possession of the state. Now, I'm not these two or these three individuals, but the state. Had the defense had this evidence at the time it was procured by the state, witnesses and or evidence that may have been available at the time would have been available. But for now, for us to get something 6 years later and go back and look for people who maybe moved to Indiana, or maybe were at a hotel party, there's no way we can effectively investigate and research that evidence 6 years later. So my client is incredibly prejudiced by the inability of his defense to investigate these allegations, because the allegations weren't provided to the defense in a timely manner. So not only are we prejudiced by the extreme Brady violations, but the fact that we can't go now and find, I don't know if we'll ever find some of these people. The hotel records, I'm sure, are gone. The hotel videos, I'm sure, are gone. There's all this evidence, the absence of the inability of the defense to investigate we're prejudiced by the link. Not just, it'd be one thing if this trial was being held in 2017 and this happened, that'd be one thing. But it's 2021, almost 2022. And the amount of time that's passed, of course, that prejudices the defense and their ability to investigate these newly disclosed allegations that involve, as you heard, and as the record will reflect, multiple people, multiple locations, and multiple pieces of evidence. So we have been extremely prejudiced, and that prejudice we can't overcome.
And as both parties are aware, in 2015, the current judge was not presiding at that time. So I'm I don't understand why a 2015 case is being tried in 2021. I would never allow that to happen.
Yes, ma'am.
But do you want to address what defense has just stated?
Yes, ma'am.
All
right. Again, these witnesses in this whole vein first surfaces in January of 2015. Correction, January 2016, correct. Law enforcement reacted and obtained cell phones in the possession of Mr. Jones in February of 2015. Correction, 16, thank you. Used to say it. They sought and attempted to interview Cisneros and Guerrero and seek out Mr. Jones in February of 16 thereafter. They eventually got Jones interviewed in July of 16. And even at that point, court heard the statement, Ms. Guerrero had relocated to Indiana. We noticed and found background on Cisneros from the state of Indiana that at a minimum made it available for them to look at local addresses. Then at the time, that's always been available. The detective, when he researched talking about the hotels where supposedly the parties at where Jones had this video, he went at the time, it's mentioned, tried to find records. Yes, they were difficult, they were problematic on all sides. Again, we didn't destroy anything, we didn't hide anything. The error, if it was made, occurred back then. So is it compounded for anyone to go back now, 6 years and 5? Yes, I understand. But my point is, it always was thus. As to the second point, yes, the context of the allegation of the party from someone who says 4 times by my count, and I can state various points in the record that he didn't see it, I didn't see it, I didn't see it, I didn't see it. Yes, that bears exploring as to what people said. I wish there hadn't been the oversight. All I can do is fix it once I know it, and we have done so. I believe that does not equate to bad faith. It does not equate to any decision with prejudice. The requirement under Section K, if at any time before, during, and/or after. Again, we had it before. We didn't realize we had it until during. And as soon as we realized it, we proffered it. And so the question then now is how best we can do, and the court has already decided with a mistrial.
Briefly. Once again, the fact that I had the names 6 years ago, Roberto's name didn't mean anything to us as far as a person of interest until Friday, when I'm told Roberto was there when it happened. So the fact he's saying, hey, we gave him Roberto's name and phone number 2015. So what? You didn't tell me that Roberto was at the murder scene. So without that knowledge, it's completely unfair to tell the defense, well, you know, we gave you the name and number. We just forgot to tell you he was at the murder scene, but you should have looked into that anyway. That's how that's exactly how I'm prejudiced. They think that was enough, but it's not. Furthermore, we had hearings on DNA. I didn't know there were other people in the house that they knew there were other people in that house when this went down. I would have questioned the DNA expert completely different. The scientific evidence, we could have talked about other things had I known that they knew there were other people in the apartment when this thing went down. Also, furthermore, one of their witnesses is David Rocha. They made a deal with David Rocha to testify against my client. They didn't even talk to David Rocha about this stuff that they knew they had. So, I mean, I've been prejudiced by their own witnesses. They're planning on bringing this guy who's a snitch to testify against my client. They didn't confront him with this video evidence. That may have changed, the state may have changed their position altogether if they'd confronted Rocha when they debriefed him and said, listen, we know from Mr. Pena and from Mr. Jones or whoever, you were there when this went down. Rocha could have said something different, which could have made them say, you know what, Charles and Richard, we're not going to go capital. We're going to do something else. So we've been prejudiced in so many ways, it's irreparable. And so we move for the dismissal of prejudice. That's all I have.
All right, so what we're gonna do.
One other matter.
I'm sorry, may my learned, my
Yes.
learned first chair be heard.
Very simple, the DNA, you can't date when the DNA went on her body. It could have been a couple of days before, and that would certainly change the whole perspective from my point. So that's why I think we have prejudice. Thank you.
I'm sorry, the evidence that's already been before the jury. And we kind of getting ahead, so yes, it is acknowledged, it is the defendant's DNA found in specific parts of the victim's body. His statement, which is in evidence, said
All right.
I haven't.
So everyone, let me just explain. I'm just hearing both sides, and I'm letting you make your record on the issue of dismissal with prejudice. That's all I'm letting you make your record
Yes,
for.
ma'am.
So what I can tell each side is this: we're gonna come back. I'm gonna give you all your time to look at whatever case law you would like to present to the court for the court to review. We're gonna come back on Wednesday at 2 p.m. if the court coordinator says we have that available. I think we will. We'll come back at 2 p.m. and I'll make my decision. So I'm just letting both sides make whatever record they want to make. But at the end of the day, I will hear your final arguments on Wednesday at 2. And you will need to have case law. If there's some case law you want me to review in making my decision, I've already done research on this from when I was practicing as a defense attorney and as a prosecutor. So, but I'm willing and open to see whatever case law either side wants to bring me. I know early on, the defense said they didn't have an appellate section, so I'm giving them a chance to do whatever research they want to do. But I'm giving both parties a chance to make the record that they want to make. So with that being said, everyone remember, let's keep it here. And so, state.
Yes, Your Honor. One.
And just so everyone knows, the court is here till 5 o'clock. If everyone wants to continue to make a record till 5, the court will be taking a break at lunch, but I will continue to let both sides make their record.
And Your Honor, the state has nothing further to add.
All right, defense, is there anything else you would like to add?
We close our record. We'll reserve a time for argument as to the law.
All right, so what we're going to do then, we are going to be back on Wednesday at 2 p.m. It's going to be on Wednesday. That time may change a little bit depending on what cases we have in the afternoon, but so far it's Wednesday at 2. Here's the other question, as
Yeah,
both, yes.
Yeah, we've learned that time changes with you.
Yeah, but in a good way. So because you all are texting me late at night.
I
Both
apologize
defense
for
and the
that,
state.
but the reason I did that was so the jury didn't come yet tomorrow and we have to do all
No,
this.
I understand.
Okay.
Yes, I'm fine with parties texting me. And I appreciate the fact that when you all text me, you include both sides, so it's not ex parte.
Absolutely.
And that's
Yes,
the reason why I always read into the record the people who are on the text chain.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and we are here at this time, which we were not scheduled to be because of that text. So with that being said, defense, as you know, it takes a lot of moving parts to have your client here in court. So are you all going to request that he be in court tomorrow, or can he be by Zoom?
You mean Wednesday?
Wednesday, yes.
I think Zoom would be fine.
All right. So Mr. Curtis, could you unmute yourself for me, please? Remember, just hold down the long space bar.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Curtis, do you have any objection to appearing by Zoom on Wednesday?
No, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Curtis, this is what will happen. On tomorrow, there will be no continuation of this trial. I've granted the mistrial that's been requested by defense.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is going to happen on Wednesday is both the defense and the state will have an opportunity to argue their points. Both the defense and the state are going to bring me their case law on Tuesday, tomorrow, by 10 a.m. So everybody has all day to give me whatever case law they want to give me. And then I'll make a decision and a ruling on your attorney's request for a dismissal with prejudice. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mr. Curtis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Deputy Laura, can you let them know that Mr. Curtis can go back? They're going to take you back, Mr. Curtis, and your attorneys will be able to talk to you on video. All right?
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, so everyone, I'll need your, whatever case law you want the court to consider, I'll need that tomorrow by 10.
Roger that. You
All right.
need what by 10?
Any case law that you want me to review beforehand, and then I'll hear your arguments on Wednesday.
All right.
The jury will be coming back tomorrow so that I can excuse them.
Do we need to be here?
Pardon?
Do we need to be here tomorrow?
No, you do not need to be here unless you specifically would like to be here to speak with them.
What time would you do that?
They're scheduled to be here tomorrow at 9.
Okay.
So we will start promptly at 9. All right. And here's, could we put us on mute, please? All right, let me find her. I'm gonna make her.
There's one
host.
here with the manager's mother's address that shows the overlap with Paula Boyd's apartment.
Like, why is that one being shown in one?
Picture overhead of this thing.
Never mind.
Picture.
Oh, there we are.
I want to work with other, okay, so this Park Ranch address location here.
Why
that's
can't I
where
make her
Hines
host?
on Cecil lives. And that tower kind of overlaps what would be all.
I probably would have made it.
So that's why.
Do you have any one of RC?
There is one of our C that you already have, that's a small one.
Yeah, we have.
And then towards the end of it, I have.
I don't know, is there a reason
Yes, I can.
Hey, Norma, it's Nathan. If you hear me, can I go back to one, please?
Yes, sir. Give me 1 second.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Nathan, I'm going to try to bring everybody out of breakout room 1.
Okay,
So give me 1 second.
sure thing. So Judge, I think that wraps it up for me for this morning. I'll go ahead and get those orders done. And if it's all right with the court, may Mr. Pinelli and I be excused for now.
Yes, sir. Take
Okay,
care.
thank you, Judge.
Mr. Pettis, what are we gonna do with your case?
Hey, Judge. Okay, good. I'm able to get back in here. Let me see. I'm gonna make a deal with Tom, Judge, so we can set it out and do PSI and have our chance to put on some testimony.
Okay, so you're gonna plead?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you wanna do it today or tomorrow?
I think it may be easier. I don't mind doing it today, Judge, if we can.
Okay, yeah. I just gotta leave here in about an hour.
Are you gonna be back tomorrow, Judge?
Yes, I'll be here tomorrow and Wednesday. But
Okay.
we can do it. If we can do it in the next hour, it's fine with me.
I gotta jump back into another court, Judge. If we can do it tomorrow, I think that would be easier.
Okay, then
Okay.
get it all done. Be back tomorrow at 9.
Okay, sounds good, Judge. Thank you.
Got it, Norma?
Jonathan, can you send me your client's email address?
Yes, and can you send me Tom's as well?
Yes.
And Judge, I sent you 2 judgments at your convenience.
Got him.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll sign them, Lupe.
Awesome, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, Norma, I got it. That's how you spell it? Nisbet, Nisbet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Judge, I'll go ahead and get with him and get this all squared away so we can be back tomorrow at 9, okay?
Okay, no problem at all.
All righty,
And
thank
then
you.
we're planning on resetting it for punishment, right?
Yes, sir.
That's not a problem at all.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Judge. Brian, you can jump off. Be back tomorrow. I'll give you a call.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.